Hello, my name is Elizabeth Megan Chilton. This video is for my Admin of Information Systems class for Tarleton State University. And this video is about business travel, specifically about international business travel and preparing for that travel. The information I am using and the details I got from our textbook, The Office, Procedures, and Technology by Oliveira, Passwork, and White. So I picked a country that I thought, I could travel to business for. In that, I picked England, specifically London, England. They are 6 hours ahead of where I'm at in Texas. So there's a little bit of a time change, not a huge time change, but I would lose a few hours, so I would have a little bit of jet lag. As far as what they speak there, of course they speak English, but their slang and their terminology is a little bit different than us here. So when I would go there, I would definitely stray away from any slang terminology, and before I went, I would probably look up their slang just to see if I could better understand what they're saying. I've heard people from England speak before, and some of the things I'm not familiar with. I wasn't sure what they were talking about on TV or in person. So I would kind of look into that first and make sure I was aware of what they were trying to tell me. First, also, I would get all my paperwork together for this. If I knew I was going, I would get an itinerary together. So this would include plane tickets to and from the country, any layovers, information for the hotel I would be staying at, if we were going to rent a car while we were there, all that information in the itinerary. I would make sure that the hotel was set up for the correct amount of days that we were going to be staying. I wouldn't want to get there and only have the hotel for one night and be stuck without a hotel. I would also want to make sure that it was paid for, everything was taken care of beforehand, so I wouldn't have to worry when I got there. Also, I would want to plan accordingly for food and kind of look at the price differences there, see what things cost. I know a lot of businesses, you get reimbursed when you come back. So if I did not have a business car, I would want to be prepared for how much money I would need for food and other things while I was there. Sometimes businesses pay for hotels in advance. If I had a business card for food, that would be great too. But just in case, I would want to be prepared for any food or extras that I might need. Also, the weather differences there. When I plan for my dress, I would not just want to plan to dress up for meetings and things like that and to be more formal, but I would also want to make sure I dress for the weather, because sometimes they're colder than we are. They have snow, and especially this time of year, that would probably be a lot colder. So I'd want to prepare and make sure I took warm, formal clothing and not just a dress that I would be freezing in. I would also want to take more casual clothing for the plane ride, as long as I didn't have to go straight to a meeting. I would just make sure I had the right amount of clothes and the right type of clothing for the meetings, to be professional, and for the weather. Also, their forms of travel. You can rent cars, just like in America. It may be a little tougher, so I would plan that in advance. If we weren't able to, I could also take taxis, or if we had a hotel that was close to where we were going to be meeting, I could walk. Again, that also depends on the weather. They also have trolleys there as a type of commute, but that is more, I think, for sightseeing. So I would either have to rent a car, walk, or take taxis. Taxis, again, would be kind of expensive, and that would be money that I would have to plan out ahead of time, especially if I didn't have a work card, but most taxis probably don't take credit card anyways. The rate difference in money. England is pounds versus American dollars. One England dollar equals $1.29 in American dollars. According to our book, banks are preferable to do exchange for money, because exchange rates might be lower than if you did it at the airport. Airports tend to charge a little bit more these people are just getting off their flight and they're wanting to go ahead and do it and not go to the extra trouble. But you might be able to get a better deal at a bank. So before I left, I would also look into a bank to see where I could exchange the money before I got there. Health documentation. Sometimes before you go, you have to have specific vaccinations. I believe I'm already up to date on all my vaccinations from working in the school system, but I would still check to verify that I didn't need anything extra before I went. And then I would take that health documentation with me and put it with my itinerary. I would also take, of course, my passport, my identification, and put all that with that. I would call beforehand the U.S. Embassy in London to make sure I didn't need any kind of visa to come there. It depends on what kind of work I was doing, what kind of business. If we were selling anything or doing anything to that nature, I'd probably need a work visa. But if it's just for meetings, I might not have to have one. But again, I would call them first to ask. If I did, all of that would be put with my itinerary and passport, ID, health records, all of that. And anything important like that I would keep with me on my person in a crossbody bag, because it would need to be with me at all times. And then when I'm not using things, it could be locked up in a safe in my hotel room. Also, all my luggage would never be left alone in a lobby or the airport or anything like that. It needs to be with me at all times. Lastly, I would take business cards with me to make sure I gave out free merchandise such as pins, t-shirts, keychains, and koozies for our company. So I would have all that prepared to go just to make sure I was ready. But again, I would be professional, make sure I was in appropriate dress, just have all my paperwork together, all my plane tickets and hotel stay information to make sure I had everything prepared to go. Again, my name is Elizabeth Chilton, and this is for my Admin of Information Systems class. Thank you so much.